Yes, you're audible.
Okay, thank you. My name is Roylene Canoy. I came from the Polytechnic College Senior High School Department. I prefer the pronouns she and her, and I'll be entertaining questions through voice. Thank you. Okay, so we highly respect the raising numbers of LGBTQIA, but we need to respect also the culture that is presented in the Philippines for how many years, okay? Our culture in the Philippines should not be forgotten, and presenting this hashtag, the Alter BL series, is too much for us. Okay, so let me provide first my rebuttal. So when the closing opposition said about the benefits economical status in this genre, it is already presented by the opening opposition. So basically, there is no extension coming from them. There is no morality in earning money, and we can earn money in a moral way. When my partner raised a question about the Thailand being prospered without these explicit content, their answer is a bit horrible in itself, because they tend to answer that they are not comparing Philippines to Thailand, but we should see Thailand as an example that there is no explicit content on their BL series, but they still manage to prosper economically in their genre. Next one. The opening opposition tells us about the don't judge the book by its cover phrase, because we don't know the whole story about it. The trailer clearly shows that there are explicit contents, and it means that there are explicit contents within, and that is what they failed to analyze. Next one is that they will restrict minors and will post it on the sites that will restrict minors. You will restrict minors that lies about their age because of the curiosity on this movie, because they are curious, and you cannot block them from that, because a lot of minors in this era tend to lie about their age just because of their curiosity about that thing. Next one, they talk about teaching your child about the morality. We are so fond of the change, but right now I think that change is not acceptable, because there are a lot of things that we need to focus on, and change right now is not so invited, because there are a lot of things that we should focus on, just like COVID-19, and this one is such a shock to our culture, because we are not used to this. This is new for us. Next one, morality and acceptance of LGBTQIA. We are respecting the LGBTQIA later. We are expecting the LGBTQIA, but not to the extent that we are going to air this Alter BL series. Next one, MTRCB. They keep on telling us about the MTRCB, which is not present on YouTube. That's why youngsters can access on the trailer, and that's why we can see that there are explicit scenes, and it means that it really does contain some scenes. Before proceeding, sure.
Okay, so coming from DCO, stop misrepresenting us. We never said that Thailand doesn't show explicit content. Engage with the standards that I have set to this debate, or you'll be seen as dismissive.
Okay, I did not say that you said that Thailand doesn't have explicit scene, but I am telling you that your answer is such horrible for the question that is presented by my partner. Moving on, I am here to support the argumentation coming from Raiden that as a fan community of the Pinoy BL series, we would boycott the Alter BL series simply because at the age of the influencer, which is 16 years old, which is also the issue on this debate, that educating children, but they failed to educate first the actor in this movie. He's just 16 years old. You are telling us that we should educate our children first, but you failed to analyze that Buknoy is just 16 years old. He is minor. If you're going to educate children not to watch this, please educate Buknoy not to engage this one, because he's still minor, and that is the best issue coming from us. Next one, they are fighting for equality. And there is equality in LGBTQIA, but this is way too much for our culture. We are not used to this, and this is new to us. And we are welcome of the change, but not right now. We are going to boycott this, because why not? If you're not going to boycott it today, why? You're going to boycott it tomorrow when all of our children will be contaminated by this? Next one, Alter BL series is a form of movie that promotes same-sex. No, I won't accept POIs anymore. I already accepted one.
Here.
That promotes same-sex relationship were blamed to be the continuous increase of STDs and HIV cases. I think that this should be more. I think that we should focus more on this rather than raising more of this equality, because we already gave the equality to LGBTQIA. What they're presenting to us is that they need more, and that is way too much for our culture. We are respecting LGBTQIA, and they should respect the culture of the Philippines also. That most of the people are not favored to this, because most of the people are still on the culture, are still respecting the culture of the Philippines, and I think that we should respect the culture of the Philippines, even though change is here. Even though change is here, do not leave the culture of the Philippines. We are respecting LGBTQIA, but not to the extent that we are going to air this Alter BL series. Best case coming from them is that they're going to educate children. By educating children, they restrict children to the platforms that they uploaded the content of this Alter BL series, but that is way too impossible given that the media is really toxic these days, and you cannot really access all of them, and you don't know who are lying these days. You don't know that. You won't know that, and that is the best case coming from us. Next one. Awareness plus education. They are also representing education, but let me ask you this. Who are presenting the best way of educating children? Are their side or our side? Of course, that is ours. We are educating children not to engage on this by educating first that you are still minor, and the actor of this is just 16 years old. It's not suitable for you. We are educating people to stay on the culture, even though you accept changes. Even though you accept changes, there is still this fact that still remains that you are living in the Philippines, and this is very new to us, and this is not accepted on our culture. We are accepting change, but also respect our culture. We are respecting LGBTQIA, but not to the extent that we are accepting the Alter BL series, because this is ethically wrong. And for all these reasons, we are very, very proud to propose. Thank you.